Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. I think we're going to make a bit of a change today. We've fished out all the swordfish that we're legally allowed to fish out of the sea. I think it's time for a change. The fish prices are now fluctuating in a crazy kind of, highs of 38, 40, lows of 12. And that's really causing a few problems. So I'm thinking, let's have a go at the nets. We've got a boat now that can really accommodate 60,000 kilograms of fish. I'm hoping that's going to make a big difference to things. But let's find out. We go to the docks and we go to rigging. We can rig for net fishing. Still want to do some lobster fishing at some point. So that's equipped. That's the wrong button. The problem I've got is my camera is in this corner, so I can't see anything there. So apologies for that. So I was looking at the game details today, and the devs have started uploading some big patches. Unfortunately, the list of things that they fixed in this particular patch, none of them applied to me, which is a bit of a shame. But you've got to understand that they've got a lot of bugs to get through. So they have to prioritize and get the ones done that they can, I guess. So just give them time, and it'll all get ironed out. I'm absolutely sure of it. So let's go. Where do we want to go? We want to go fishing gear. Buy nets. According to this, we have no nets. So we've got 40 165 meter nets. And that's the most we can have. Okay. Good. Oh, actually, one thing they fixed is the crew disappearing. And they said that if your crew has ever disappeared, then if you go to the crew house, you'll find them all there. And I think they're probably right, because Nora Ross was definitely one of my crew members. And I don't know what happened to her. She was expensive as well. Look at this. But she can go back onto the ocean runner. And, wow, it just suddenly turned to night. What happened then? What happened then? Is that a new bug, is it? I don't know what that was. That was so weird. Alright, let's do it again. Let's see if we can make it daytime. Brew House, Derek Clark. Who's best? Oh, we're doing nets now, aren't we? Where's nets? Net hauling. You're better. Turn to Ocean Runner. Okay, I was wondering if that would be a thing. Okay, so who have we got on board? You're pretty good at nets. You're bloody awful at nets. Goodbye, Victor. Rudy Smith is bloody awful at nets. Goodbye. Nora Ross is kick-ass. I mean, she's really good. But Thomas and Nora definitely are best deckhands. But let's test this theory. Net. Okay. Oh, wow. Actually, Victor is one of the best. You're ranked 4, and you're ranked 4. Alright, we'll go with you. We'll go with you, Pearl, because you've got a few extra skills. It did it again! It did do it again, did you see that? It just completely changed the time of day. Oh, goodness me. If the devs were still talking to me, then I would tell them about these bugs, but they're not. I don't think they're very happy with me for being so honest about the game. But, I've been being honest about games for 5-6 years. They should know I do that by now. And nothing I've said isn't true. Anyway, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the nets. We've got the nets, we've got the crew. Why have I still got Longline stuff? Has it changed my boat to nets? I can't see the thing. Just double check. Yeah, rigged for net fishing. Okay, so we're going to stay out today until we've got text message. Where's my bloody phone? Oh. I left it all the way over there. So yeah, we're looking to upgrade to our next ship. That's what we're doing. And whilst we're here, actually, some of the older ships we've got, I'd quite like to get rid of. So these are the ones we've owned. So the Mickey, we can sell that. 8,000. That's nothing. That's really cheap. 233,000 for that's pretty good. So I'm going to sell that. And that gives us 3 million. We're now almost halfway to our next boat. As much as I like the Mickey, I didn't like it much. The Mickey, in my humble opinion, is like a cheap less effective version of this boat. Wow, why can't I turn? I can turn left, I can turn right. Gosh. Do you know what? I do believe that my controls are not working. No, my controls are not working. My pedals are working, which is a problem because now we're heading straight towards that ship. Oh my word, what is going on? Right, just stay still. Don't do anything, boat. Just float safely, not hitting anything. Right, let's have a look. Okay, now I can steer the boat. That was a moment, for sure. Not quite sure what happened there. I wish I could think of a way to secure these bloody pedals to the floor. They slide about like you wouldn't believe. Alright. Let's leave the port. So I haven't bothered looking at the fish prices because obviously when you're net fishing, you're not really focusing on any one type of fish. You're just, you know, you're using a net. You're putting a net out and anything you catch, you catch. Oh, another thing they have done, I tell a lie, I said the patches and updates that they'd included didn't affect me, but actually, one of the things that, oh my god, that was rather close. One of the things that I do appreciate is that it's now going to be harder to catch swordfish outside of their actual natural habitat. You may have seen in some of my other videos, I literally pulled out of port and then started dropping lines, and I was catching swordfish and tuna, and I sort of basically said you wouldn't expect to see that in the real world, so I didn't want to see it in the game. And so they've changed that. Probably nothing to do with me, because I think I've been blacklisted from MISC games, unfortunately, despite all my constructive criticism. I think they've taken offence to it. But they have changed that, so maybe at some point we'll put one line down and just see if it works. But I'd like to see more. They also said that this ship no longer sinks. I've never seen it sink, but it's definitely filling up with water. Look at this. That's not right, is it? It wasn't doing that before. Why has it started doing that again? It used to do that right at the beginning, right early on in the beta phase. But in the last few episodes, I don't think it's been happening, so I don't really understand why it's doing it again. They haven't fixed it, they've broken it. Oh well. That's all part and parcel of software development, trust me. Unless you've designed it, this is where a lot of people go wrong. If you don't spend enough time on the design, then you'll make mistakes in the build, because there's no structure that's clearly identified prior to you starting. I'm not saying that's necessarily what they've done, but I have worked in software houses where they accused me of spending too long designing a piece of software or a database. More fool them, as they just went ahead and built it and then had to spend months and months and months fixing problems that they themselves had incurred by not planning. Idiots. Idiots! Another thing they've done, another thing in the patch, apparently the AI boats were failing to catch anything. Now, there must be some sort of hidden statistical data element that proves or disproves whether or not an AI ship is catching something or not. And according to them, they weren't. So, I mean, it would be great, I think, if we actually saw them fishing, dropping the nets off, if we saw their stuff in the sea. Is it my imagination, or is the sea a bit rougher than usual? Miserable bloody weather. It's probably because the waves are coming through the boat that I feel like the waves have... Yeah, I don't know. Definitely a bit of work to be done there. But yeah, the AI boats apparently are now actually going to catch some fish. And when you drop it, I said it didn't affect me, but I think I lied. Apparently now when you drop off your haul, it won't immediately affect prices. Now, I'm not sure that's realistic. I think they're going down the route of appeasing console players again. Not that this is on console yet, but arcade players. Those people who don't want the game to be too hard. They don't want a challenge. They just want it to be like a relaxed gaming experience, which is fine, but then why take that away from me? We definitely need to have a hardcore mode and an easy casual mode, don't we? I think that's what the last game lacked, and it's what this game lacks. You'll never please everybody, no matter what you do. As a YouTuber, I know that firsthand, but even in software development, someone's going to be pissed with something you've done, even if everything you've done is perfect. It's still not going to... It took you too long. Shut up, idiot. It's perfect. It's the perfect bit of application. Yeah, but it took you too long. Don't be such a moron. You'll always get someone. Someone wants to complain about you all the time. Doesn't matter what you do. But, okay, right. Enough of that jibber jabber. Mumbo jumbo. Oh, I keep pressing the wrong button. Which button is my map, please? There's my map. Thank you. I need to move this microphone so you can still hear me when I lean forwards. Right. So, look at the mess. 10 days ago, I saw some lobster. I'm not convinced by this whole mechanic either. We won't go into that now. Where's a good place to drop nets? I have no idea. Well, apparently there's some redfish here. And if you look, it's in this kind of... I don't know what depth that is. That's about 50 meters depth, isn't it? I mean, it's not really deep. About 50 meters depth there. So, if that's where fish are frequenting, then let's drop a whole bunch of nets around here. Let's draw ourselves a little... I'm going to do it differently today. I don't do a lot of net fishing. But I'm going to just see if I can do a round robin styley. You know what I mean? Something like this. And we'll see. We're going to whack the autopilot on. It's a bit of a test today. I do like how it's awkward to hit the autopilot when you're bouncing around. Although, having said that, it's not doing it today. I bet you they've taken that mechanic out as well because someone's, oh, it's too hard. I find it difficult to click on the button 12 times. It's too hard. Don't like it. Stop it. It's not fair. I'm sure they do that. Whoa, bloody hell. I'm seriously nervous about being out here in this kind of weather at the moment. Look at this. How frightening is this? Good Lord. Mummy, buy me some new pants. Good Lord. Right, so we need the HUD, please. And you're not supposed to be able to get the HUD up in first person view, I don't think. But works. Oh my gosh. Come on, brain. That's the one we want. So we want someone preparing the gear, please. We want someone doing the old cooking. And have we got a machine gutter? I think we do, but it still doesn't show up in the game yet. So that's another bug they've yet to fix. Wow, I only played this yesterday and I already can't remember what the buttons are. What am I doing? We've just driven about 20 miles. I need to put a dead zone on this throttle. Sometimes when you touch it, it just keeps going. Prep then. Oh man. It gets on my nerves, it really does. And then apparently if I press R, you'll then set the net. Okay, that's fine. But it doesn't work in first person mode, which is quite frustrating. I'm just going to see if I can bind that to a button. So if anyone sees the letter R, or the number 4, or the colour green, then please shout out, "We love you! Sesame Street." Yeah, see, it's not in here. This is... Ah, yes, it is in here. I tell a lie. Okay, so secondary button. Now, secondary, according to this down here, if I can find it, secondary is B. Right, I'm not sure that's going to work. Let's try. I'm in third person, I press B. Yes, it does work. Oh, there you go. This is how we're going to fish today, guys. I really want to turn those alerts off. I hate them. I really want to turn off that it slows my speed down. It's completely taking control of the speed of my boat. That's not me accelerating, that's the game doing it. I hate this. This is one of the things I hate most about net fishing. I just had a flashback of when I played Fishing Barents Sea, and I loved the net fishing because I kept breaking the nets because it was quite tricky to keep the boat aligned whilst the nets were going out. I was like, oh no, I've ruined another net. How frustrating. And then they did this. They took over the power of the boat. They really dumbed... I'm not even touching the steering wheel, you can see. Look at that. They really dumbed down the difficulty of keeping the boat straight whilst the net's going in the water. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do then? I just sit here doing nothing. Stupid. And worse than that, after I've dropped a line in, they just take away the speed of the boat. So then you've got to wait for an hour before you can put another one in. There you go, taking over control of the boat. This is why I don't like net fishing. But I tell you what, if we do a round robin and fill up the boat, and we earn 3 million, then I'll stop complaining about net fishing. Ridiculous, isn't it? There needs to be a hardcore mode and a simple mode, and in the hardcore mode you need to make the boat do whatever it is a boat should do when you're putting nets in the water. If you're supposed to stop and let the weight of the net pull the net down, then that's what you should do. And if you go too early, you can snag the net, you can tear the net, you can completely destroy the net. These are the kind of things that aren't in the game that desperately need to be in the game. And I totally understand how casual players don't want to see that, but in exactly the same way, I don't want to see this. This is not what I want to be doing. I'm doing nothing. I'm sat here waiting for the game to finish playing my game before I can bloody do anything. It's stupid. Get in the bloody water. God's sakes. It's a shame putting a net out doesn't take a little bit longer. I could go make a cup of tea for each one. Make a sandwich, have a bite to eat. Ridiculous. Surely they can see how pointless this whole exercise is. And even if you are a console player, doesn't this bore the living daylights out of you? I don't know who they're listening to. I really don't, but they need to question what they're saying. Such a detraction from a good game. And I've got to do this 40 times, people! I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some music over this segment. I'm going to go third person and we'll get... I mean, it looks nice, doesn't it? Well, I say it looks nice. Can I get rid of that HUD? I can't get rid of the HUD. Ah, there we go. Ah. This would be nice, wouldn't it? If you could have a mode where it was completely, you know, none of these on-screen visual animation-y type things. And you were just responsible for doing it all yourself. As and when you thought it was the right thing to do. No, it still pops up. So there's no way I can get rid of that awful graphic there. Oh, look! Look! I turned the camera. Have I got to turn it that way? Which way does it want me to turn? I think I destroyed that one. Oh, you know why? It wasn't me. I thought turning the camera did that. It's because I've got autopilot on. That's what did that. Ah, okay. So we've seen a slight problem with the autopilot implementation I've come up with today. So don't do the round robin. Right, now I should be able to move the net, the camera without destroying the net. There we go. Let's just do it this way. Why is that net red? Why is that net red? This is a brand new net. The last one I destroyed, this one should be fine, right? Wow, this is so immersive. Wonder what the football scores are today. All right. I think we've finished putting the nets in. Cool, we can play the game again. Woohoo! We're in control of the boat at last. Oh, really? It turns the flipping camera around to the angle it wants me to be at. Zoomed in where it wants me to be at. Do I have any control or say over what this game does? This is just ridiculous. This is why I don't do net fishing. I remember now. It's bloody awful. It's the worst bit. Is it worse than line fishing? Yes, I think it is worse than line fishing. Line fishing is time consuming, frustrating, awkward, and it's not really that profitable either. So, yes, I don't particularly like line fishing, but net fishing is far worse because it's, you know, I've got to put 40 nets down at this speed, which is fine. If that's what I needed to do, then fine. But I'm not even doing it. The game is doing it. I have no control. I mean, I could steer, I could destroy my own net, but I can't do anything else. It's horrifically frustrating. And when I hit the drop the net in the water button and it takes me to the back of the boat, that is the most infuriating thing of all. That's probably the most infuriating thing in the entire game for me. I absolutely hate it. This is going to be an awful episode. Oh my gosh. Hauling it in is fine. I have no problem with the hauling in mechanics. That seems to work okay. But setting these nets is an abomination. And it used to be so good. It used to be so good. I used to control the boat. This horrible graphic was still there. It always put you in this camera view, which I hate. But at least I had some responsibility. At least I had something to do whilst I was laying the nets. This is insanity. Absolute insanity. I would love to get control of this game. I really would. The direction I would take this game in, oh my goodness me. I hope they listen this time. I really hope they listen. That's the flipping autopilot again. That's twice it's called me out. Blast. clarify, guys, I'm 100% not even bothering to look at the screen. I am just so not doing anything that I don't even need to pay attention. This is just crap. This will be the first and last time I do any net fishing. I think after this, regardless of how much money it makes me, I'm going to, instead, I was going to buy a net fishing boat. I'm going to buy a lobster or crab fishing boat. I'm not doing this again. This is utter garbage. I swear to you, I could set up a little macro that constantly holds the accelerator down and randomly presses the B button every minute. And I would be able to set all my nets without actually doing anything. I could leave the room and it would just go and do its thing. Absolutely ridiculous, this is. In fact, I might do that. Set up a voice attack command. Let's do this. We're going to create a new excuse me, we're going to create a new one. That's the wrong thing. New profile. New profile is called Fishing North Atlantic. Or something like that. Okay, Fishing North Atlantic now exists. Oh, I've got to do some fishing. Sorry guys. I've got to press my accelerator button. And I've got to press B. Oh no. Now I've got to press B. No. Now I've got to press B. There we go. Okay, and go back to sleep again for another 20 minutes. Voice attack. Add a command here. We'll call this command new command. Set the net. Set the net. That's what we're going to call it. Other. Now we may have a problem here. Because I can't now use the keybind because I had to change the keybind so I could get this to work. So, how am I going to do this? Let me just put another net in the water. Let me just put another net in the water because it's really complicated stuff. This. If I don't concentrate on what I'm doing, then I'm going to lose my nets, and I can't lose my nets. Because if I lose my nets, I'll have no nets left. Right, let's try this. Okay. And apply, done. I think I need to do this. Joysticks on. Joysticks are now enabled. I've never done this before, so this is a bit of an experiment. Set the net. Recorder. Start recording. Okay, that's not working. Other. So you can enable joysticks and figuring it out as I go along here, guys. don't know if you can do it with a controller. So I could do this. I could do... Oh yeah, so I could just do this. I could just do press and hold down for 2.5 seconds. Right, so let's try this. I think that alone might very well do it. Set the nets. I may need to tweak it slightly. Set the net. Just to do it, and then add a pause for 5 seconds. Set the net. Set the nets. Set the net. What do you mean unrecognised? Let's just put one in the water there. Oh, that's why. Accidentally changed the key command. Right. So, set the net. Set the net. That's now working. So that's now working. So that should be sending a command to the game, pressing the R key every 5 seconds for 2.5 seconds. And we'll see. We'll see. Right, okay, so I'm zooming out. I'm leaving it there. The autopilot is driving the boat. The autopilot should accelerate. The autopilot should accelerate. Wow. But the autopilot is not working either. And I have to be in this view, otherwise it doesn't work. Let's just dismiss all of these stupid alerts. There you go. That was the that was automated. That wasn't me doing it. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to change this. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to go all the way up here. Go like this. And yeah. Okay. So. Oh gosh, look, we're going to lose that net. That's because we just took that very sharp turn. But don't panic. Once the next net goes in, I'm going to go make a cup of tea, and we'll see if it works. Okay? So you can see it saying, can't set a net within 100 meters of other fishing gear. I could probably change that, actually. Change the pause to 15 seconds. Just so we're not bombarding it ridiculously. Set the net. Set the nets. What? Oh, I did it again, look. Set the nets. Set the nets. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much. Please enjoy the video. I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea and just show you how crappy this whole dynamic part of the game is, because I think it's really important that the devs see this and dramatically change the way they're doing things, because this is preposterous. I'll see you in a few minutes, and hopefully we'll still have a boat. Who knows? dear, what's happened? When did it stop? So there's a big gap there. I guess it wasn't running. Huh. Not sure what happened there. We'll try it again. We'll try it again. It's a bit annoying that didn't work. I don't know why that didn't work. Alrighty, so that failed on this particular occasion. Come back here. Face the boat in the correct direction. And we'll have a nice long drive like that. We'll make sure the autopilot is on. Maybe that's what the problem was. Did I accidentally turn the autopilot off? I think I did. Maybe I did. Let's try this. Set the nets. That appears to be a problem with... Okay, so what I've done is I've turned the microphone off on voice attack. I'm going to see if that works. Because maybe turning the microphone off on voice attack is what caused that to not work. I don't know. Anyway, I've got a cup of coffee. I'm not touching the wheel, I'm not touching the throttle, I'm not touching anything at all. I'm just sat here drinking coffee. So it's ready to go. Will the thing fire? Set the nets. There'll be something to do with this. It's not working properly. Press the R key and hold it for 2.5 seconds. See, it pressed it there. Set the nets. Maybe it's not going often enough. We'll revert that to 5 seconds. We'll get there in the end. We'll do it. Oh, what's this? Let's go have a look. Le Havre discovered. I didn't even have to go near it that time. That's rather handy. Alright, so let's hot tail it back there. Turn the boat around. Set the nets. Okay, so every 5 seconds that should be going off now. There you go, that was the thing doing it. Autopilot's back on. Let's see if it works this time. Seems to be working now, so it's fully automated. I'm going to go downstairs and I'll come back in a bit. Have fun. Hi guys. So it looks like it worked. 4 to go. 4 more to go now. So I don't know, maybe this is a good thing. You know, I can put the game on, I can start setting nets. I've run out of fuel. Once I finish setting nets, I can just go do something else. So maybe this does work in my favour, I don't know. Pretty annoying though. I've also just realised that my voice attack is listening to the wrong microphone. So that would very much explain why it's not working so well today. But yeah, I mean, clearly that works. And clearly you can see why I find this so abhorrent. I mean, what's the point? Why not just click a button in shore, tell them where you want to set the line, and just have it automate the whole thing in an instant? If there's no point in me doing anything, if I don't need to touch any of the controls, then what is the point in the game? Where's the game? What is the game? Where's the game element? I don't understand. So whilst we got a few minutes to diversify our conversation, I guess, whilst this game was automatically setting my nets for me, I did go and make a omelette. And lovely omelette it was too. I'm just going to turn listening off on voice attack and just see if that breaks the mechanic of trying to set nets. See if it goes again. Okay, so it's still working, that's good. I really don't know why it didn't work the first time. Maybe 15 seconds was just too long or something. Could have been that, I guess. But yes, anyway. So I made a fantastic omelette, and I want to tell you how you make the perfect omelette, because I think it's quite important. If you ever watched that movie where I think it's LL Cool J was the chef, and when he thought he was going to die, he decided to make a final video to say some important things that needed to be said, and basically what he was explaining was how to make the perfect omelette. Well, I don't know if he came up with that himself and whether he is a bit of an omelette connoisseur, but I actually am. I'm a bit of a fussy omelette guy. So how do you make the perfect omelette? Well, there's 2 ways of doing it. If you like a nice flat omelette, then you put water and a sliver of butter for each egg that you put in the omelette. So I had 2 egg omelette, so I put 2 small slivers of butter in the frying pan, bit of salt and pepper, heat it up so that it all fizzles and it's ready to be taken in. Is that the last one? 2 to go. And then obviously you mix up the egg and you put them in and you let it fry. Then you put the cheese and whatever fillings you're having in. Now don't put too much cheese in, it's really important. If you put too much cheese in, it gets too oily and then it starts oozing out, and that's it might taste nice, but the texture's all wrong. You've got to get that balance right to make it really nice. So yeah, once you put your let's say ham and tomatoes in there, whatever it is, or mushrooms, you just chop them up. Less is always more. Don't overdo it. You don't want to cram an omelette full to the point where it's bursting. That's way too much. And you'll find your own perfect ground yourself. Everyone is different. Today I tried chorizo for the first time, and I highly recommend you don't do that, because chorizo is a very, very oily kind of substance, and it's not very good for you either. But I put it in the omelette. I made a flat omelette with the water, 2 tablespoons of water, 1 tablespoon per egg, and it was very flat and it was very oily, and actually it didn't work too well. So it was an experiment. It didn't work out. I've learnt a lesson. Oh, 1 to go, look. Last one. So yes, what I do recommend is that you put a bit of milk in with your omelette. Now LL Cool J says don't put milk in, but I'm telling you, if you want it nice and fluffy, if you want a flat pancake, go with water. If you want it fluffy, put a bit of milk in there, and maybe half the amount of butter that you would with a flat omelette. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You season the pan before you put the egg in. You cook it for maybe a minute or 2, depending on how hot you've got the pan, just to seal the bottom. And then you put your ingredients in, your cheese, your tomato, your ham, your mushrooms, whatever, your onion, of course. And then you fold it over. And the most important thing is you squeeze it down. And when you squeeze it down, all of that uncooked egg that isn't going to get cooked particularly well because it's on the inside. It gets pushed to the outside and it will immediately cook as soon as it touches the pan. But also by pressing it down, you're engaging it with the heat and making sure that the omelette is cooked through perfectly. So there we go, guys. That's why net fishing is absolutely pointless in this game, because not only could I tell you how to cook the perfect omelette, I could even go and cook the perfect omelette. So I need to create a new command here. New command. Stop the nets. Oops. This is going to be tricky. Other, oh my gosh. Because it's still firing, you see. It's still trying to, other. Oh my god, every time I do it, it's pressing R. Stop another command, there we go. Whew. Okay, apply. And yes, that'll stop it, good. So that works perfectly. Now that I tweaked it and twiddled with it and got it working. It's already been in the water for 10 hours. Look at that. So we're basically just going to go all the way around. Come back here. Oh, no, we're not actually. We are going to go to port. Because if we don't get some fuel, we're going to have big problems. What we're going to do. So come here, go up here. Gosh. It's clunky. I love clunky. Clunky's so good. I like my games to be clunky, I really do. Oh, I'm surprised we didn't catch on that. Okay. So we've arrived at our final waypoint. We're just going to drive into port here. We've got 40 lines out there. I don't think I would be able to automate collecting the nets. I don't think I could do that. Because if the map flag route picking thing was better, then definitely I could automate it. But because it's so clunky and you can only put those flags in certain spaces, I wouldn't be able to guarantee that we pick up every net. Otherwise, I could totally automate that as well. Absolutely, I could. So let's go to the dock, go to maintenance, we get some fuel, repair the hull. Might as well go full repair. Because we nearly sunk the boat a couple of episodes ago. You should have watched that one if you haven't watched it already. Right. There's not really much else to do. I'm just going to go... This is what I hate. I've got to click dismiss on all of those. Totally ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. Right, we're going to go back out to sea. And we're going to... basically go and sleep by our nets. Just as soon as I've got the boat out of the port. A full tank of fuel, so we should be good. So we've never filled up. 14 hours they've been in the water. So I think if we give it another 5 hours, that should be ready to go. Okay, good stuff. So the two guys that are doing things can... Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. Okay, well I hope we've got enough energy in the team to get them to do this, because there's a lot of nets to pull in. There are a lot of nets to pull in. Alright. Now I'd much rather do this in first person mode, but then if I do it in first person mode, you guys won't get to see very much. But I do my absolute best to try and get... Oh, that's a bad start. To try and get some interesting angles. I am not sure why the acceleration and braking is so slow today, but it is really not responsive at all. And for some reason I can't turn whilst I'm accelerating. Got a few issues I need to deal with, I guess. Oh, something wrong with that pot? What's the problem with you? What on earth is going on? Alright, let's get the first couple started, because obviously we're having some issues today. So you telling me now that my AI crew no longer pull in the pots? That can't be true. That cannot be true, right? No, they did. Maybe I just had the angle of the boat wrong. 381 kilograms of fish was successfully caught. The net was too damaged to use. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So for those of you on mobile, I always try and bring the camera in nice and close. Oh, I forgot. The net collection mechanic is slightly different, isn't it? I've got to line up the front buoy and the back buoy. That's what I did wrong. Okay. Wow, the acceleration and braking is much slower than it was yesterday. Right, this should be a bit better. Net too damaged to use. Net hauling not fully completed. What are you talking about? Why are these nets damaged? There's nothing wrong with these nets. These nets were fine. Remember when we were putting the nets in and I said, why is the net red? Did you notice that every single net I put in was red after the first one that got damaged? I'm wondering if that's a bug. And if that is a bug, then I'm going to have 40 nets that are broken. And I'm going to be pissed. Net too damaged to use. Net hauling not fully completed. So do you know what's happening here? We're not even, I don't think we're even getting the nets back. So I think every single one of my nets is now damaged. And I think it's a bug in the game. And I think I'm pissed. I think I'm really pissed about that. I'm pretty sure I saw in the patch notes that they'd done something with nets as well. But I'm now thinking maybe they've broken it. Because everything feels weird today and not behaving as it should be. This is going to be busted as well. Damaged. So you've basically damaged every single one of my nets because I put 2 in that got damaged. Actually, out of all of them, that's the one that I knew would be damaged. This one should definitely be fine, but it won't be because they're all damaged, I bet you. Oh. That's pretty frustrating. Man alive, the boat just feels so sluggish. It's not responsive at all. Damaged. Oh man. This is going to be a bloody nightmare. I've now got to go pull in 40 broken nets, even though they shouldn't be broken. I am so pissed. Look, I can't steer and accelerate at the same time. In fact, I can't steer at all. What is going on? Oh man, this game is all broken today. This is the problem with small dev teams. Somebody is under pressure, and what they're doing is they're basically forcing developers to push out fixes and patches as quickly as possible. And all that you can guarantee by doing that is that you break stuff. And that's exactly what it looks like has happened here. Because this wasn't happening the other day. I'm pretty sure last time I went out fishing with nets, I busted one of the nets, but it didn't then break every single net I had in the entire collection. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Hang on. I may have to eat my own words here. I can't remember, but I'm having a flashback that I left my nets out for way too long. And that is probably why they're all damaged. Oh, ball aches. So this very well might be my fault. I hope it is, to be honest with you. I really hope it is. You can't repair the nets either, can you? That's not a thing in the game. And it bloody should be, because it's a thing in real life. But that's incredibly frustrating. I'm half tempted just to leave these nets out here and start again. Yeah, do you know what? I think I'm gonna... I can't remember if I did... Let's have a look at one of my other videos and see if I did damage all the nets. Oops, not paying attention. Man, the throttle is so slow now. I guess somebody must have complained about how sensitive it was. Don't know why, it's not like these boats are flipping fast. No, I didn't damage the nets. The nets were fine, so I think this is a bug. Well, I think what I did was I left some long lines out for far too long and damaged them. So I think this might be a bug then, guys. Difficult to remember. You put so many hours into a game, you start forgetting precise details, but correct me if I'm wrong. If you've watched a video of mine recently where I did damage the nets, then please do let me know in the comments. And I can't steer whilst throttling at all. It's totally broken, that mechanic. Now, bearing in mind I am using an emulator, so that could very well be causing a few issues. And now I can't brake. Now I can't slow down. Oh, bloody hell. Well, it looks like you can hit them as fast as you like. This next net is definitely going to be damaged. So I guess we're going to come out and do some net fishing again, guys. I said I'm not doing any more, but we can't leave it like this. Oh god, I can't steer and do anything with the throttle at the same time. What is going on with this game today? I think I might know what it is actually. I just spotted something on my emulator. Might indicate what the problem is. Wow, I've got 393 kilograms on that, considering it was, you know, that far apart from each other. That's quite surprising. So I think what I need to do is add a dead zone on my throttle here, because when I'm reversing, I'm noticing sometimes that it's also trying to accelerate, but it's definitely slower than it was before. Much, much slower. And that I don't think has anything to do with the emulator, but I could be wrong. Don't rule anything out. So yeah, we'll come out again tomorrow, guys. I'll get some fresh nets. We'll do it fully automated, so there's no way that I can possibly get in and cause any problems. The only way that that automated system is going to fail is if I direct the boat over some shallows, or if an AI boat happens to drive in front of us. That's the only two reasons I can foresee that would break that system. Otherwise, I think it's pretty much fail-safe. Probably safer than trying to do it yourself, to be honest. I wonder how many fish you would catch in an unbroken net. Because if it's we're pulling in 433 kilograms of fish right now with totally broken nets. But I wonder if, for example, a full net, a fully working net, pulls in 1,000 kilograms, then you would have to start factoring in how long it takes for the AI to pull the net up, process all the fish, because I assume that's what they're going to do. And if that takes more than twice as long to pull in broken nets, then you might as well just break all your nets and put them in the water and just pull up twice as many nets, because it will take you half the amount of time. There's an interesting dynamic for the future of the game. And I'm sure if this is a bug that's caused all my nets to be broken, then I'm absolutely certain that it will be fixed and it won't be an issue for too long. But in the meantime, maybe this is a quicker, more profitable way of fishing. But I can't remember off the top of my head how many kilograms of fish were caught on average with working nets. I suppose I could have a look at that video, couldn't I? But I think most of that video was in first person, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to see. Oh, 21 is green, look. Why is that? I don't think 21's ready to be pulled in. That, or it's the one that I put out there randomly. Can't remember. Oh yeah, it looks like this is the one that we changed direction on. Do you see what I mean? We're pulling them in so fast that some of them are now not even set. I can't see on my mobile, it's too small. I can't see the digits. I don't know how much we were pulling in. But definitely join me in the next episode, guys. I'm gonna come back out with the nets, and we're gonna do it fully automated with nets that are not broken, and I'm sure we're gonna get a good result. Oh, there's the next set of nets. Have they been out there too long? It's a bit weird. How long have they been out there? Oh, only 15 hours. They need a bit longer. Well, I say they need a bit longer. They're broken nets, aren't they? So they probably don't. Let's get 24 in because I want to get back online with 25, and then we'll have a kip and see if that fixes the problem. I don't think it will. Notice also that they're gutting the fish by hand, but we do have a machine on board, or we should have. Maybe I didn't click the right button to get it on. But now this is actually a good dynamic of fishing North Atlantic, is if you set out for sea and you haven't set your boat up properly, tough titties, man. You're stuck. Yeah, you definitely cannot steer and change the throttle at the same time anymore. Alrighty, let's go first person. Come over here. The throttle problem, it's like permanently on. Okay, how are we looking now? That's a bit more like it. Alrighty. Let's go, guys. Let's pull in these broken, damaged nets. Damaged nets. We know, we know, we know. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to follow this episode on immediately because this isn't what I wanted to do today, but this happened. This is what happened, so I want to show you what happened so you can see the good bits and the bad bits of the game. Now, just to make sure that it is a bug in the game and not something else that's causing these issues. Stupid alerts. Yeah, just to make sure that it is the game and not something else that's causing these issues, I'm going to totally restart the game, probably restart the PC, set it all up again, and we'll come out and we'll do proper nets. I'll make sure the nets are perfect. I'm not sure if you can fix the nets when you're in port. I don't remember seeing an option to do that. So if necessary, I'll sell the lot, buy new nets, and then we can come out. What's wrong with that one? It's so pedantic. Definitely the throttle is so slow now. I really cannot wait for them to implement steering wheel and throttle support properly. Official support shouldn't have these issues. And obviously, you know, I'm trying to make a game do something that it wasn't designed to do, so I have to take that into consideration. Oh, look at that, I've got one random fishing net over there. Ha ha. I've completely forgotten about that one. We'll go pick that up last. We've got 11,000 kilos on board. That's, considering every single net we have is broken, that's not outrageous. We'll probably finish up on about 15. And I don't know what the prices are, but should be a few £1,000s at least. Which isn't going to impress me or the crew at all, especially since I've got to replace all these nets. But I don't mind that so much. Quite happy to come out and show you a fully automated net setting system in the next episode, because we know it works now. And yeah, very much looking forward to seeing whether or not net fishing is actually viable. Oh, you son of a gun. No fish were caught. Wow, it's got worse. Oh, I bloody did it again. You know what? Screw it. I don't even care about these nets anymore. I'm just going back to harbour. I'm going to sort this out. We're going to buy new nets. We're going to make sure that the boat is fully fueled up. And we're going to do... I keep forgetting you could do that. I keep forgetting you could do that. Every time, every episode I forget you could do that. Until I accidentally click on it. Right. Yes, we're going to sell our fish. What does that make us? 77,000. That's not bad considering how bad everything was. Silver hake is actually quite valuable. Oh, Pollack as well. Right. We'll sell that. That's not actually an awful situation, but we're going to go do this now. We're going to go... Where are we going to go? We're going to go fishing gear. We're going to sell the nets. We're going to sell the lot. Now we're going to buy some nets. We're going to buy 165 metre nets. We're going to buy the lot. And we're going to make sure that we've got fuel. Repair? What did we have to repair? What was wrong with the boat? What happened to the boat? Is it just general repair? So, 4 people on board. Yes, they're all on board. Good, good, good. Right. So I'm going to set this up, guys, and I'm going to put this into the next episode because that was a frustrating episode. But we're going to go again. I'm going to restart the game. Actually, yeah, I'm going to restart the game before I do this. So come and join me again for the next episode, guys. We'll fully automate the net setting, and then we'll go around and we'll pick them up. Hopefully they won't all be damaged again. These are brand new nets. There should be nothing wrong with them whatsoever. So we'll try that. And then we can get a really good idea of whether or not this works. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Till next time. Goodbye.